My name is Jake. Welcome to the channel. In 2018, my wife and I officially started pursuing financial independence with the goal of retiring early. Back then, we didn't have a kid and we really only were planning, the future with just the two of us. We didn't spend a lot of time planning and thinking about retiring early with a kid. When looking back on my own experience, I wish I would have spent the time sooner thinking and planning what life would look like raising a kid in early retirement. So whether you have kids or not, I think this video will be helpful to learn from our experience. We retired early. This is how we planned to raise our son. The first thing that I want to talk about is with schooling. Now, back in 2018, when I was, young and fit and could go on vacation, do anything I wanted without limitation, it never just occurred to me that life would dramatically change the moment that you have a kid. It's not just so easy. You can't just get in a car and then just go to the grocery store. No, you got to see if the car seat's ready. You got to see if the kid's ready to go. You got everything with you. Like the planning that goes into just your day to day. When you're single or just married, just the two of you, you just wake up and you just kind of do your thing. When you have a kid, and I can't even imagine with people that have kids, multiple kids, because we only have one son, the amount of planning that, goes into your day, you just don't think about that before you start having kids. So one of the biggest challenges that we kind of faced when planning early retirement is we wanted to be flexible with where we live and what we do. Because a goal of mine for early retirement, it was always about flexibility and freedom, being able to choose what you do with your time. Now, when you have a 7 or an 8-year-old, they're on their daily routine. They have their schedule. They're going to school. They're going to class. Maybe they're in sports. Like they have a very strict routine. And then I was thinking to myself, well, dang, I don't want to really have that strict of a routine. Now, I want to incorporate routine for our son so that it helps him. But if I want to leave in the winter to go to Hawaii or to Australia for 2 months, I want to be able to do that without running into having issues with school. And I didn't want to just make it about us because, it's the three of us now. So this is where my wife and I had to get a little creative. Now, we didn't want to put him into a public school. We didn't want to do that. Absolutely not. We didn't want to have that year-long structure. And so we started thinking, okay, well, what if we homeschooled our son and we did that? But then he'll miss out on other areas, socializing with other kids. So, well, maybe what if we put him in like a summer camp, stuff like that, where we could incorporate, where he could kind of fill that gap. And so we started thinking, okay, maybe we could re-engineer this whole experience that, we grew up, that I grew up knowing what was normal, right? Like I was always benchmarking the traditional school system of, hey, you send your kid K through 12, public school, that's the way to do it. It's the gold standard. And then I realized for a second, wait a second, public school sucks. Like there's maybe some benefits to it. Maybe he'll grow a thicker skin because he'll get bullied. That's always good, right? Or, but I just was thinking, you know what? If the benchmark is public school, we can do better than the benchmark. We can reimagine what normal is. And that's where we kind of went down this rabbit hole of where there doesn't have to be 100% structure and he doesn't have to be a little boy behind a desk all day. And, we could rethink this whole experience. And so the main point that I want to share with the schooling, this gave us a lot of restless nights, I guess you could say, a lot of debating where my wife and I kind of had to compromise on things where we want to do this, but we don't want to sacrifice this, but we want to do this. And so if you're in this situation, whether you're just pursuing fire, you're married, you're not married, you have 10 kids, right? Like whatever experience you're in, when it comes to early retirement and retiring early with a family, it's okay to question the norm and that the benchmark is not always the best. It took me a long time to overcome this. I always would try to compare what we were doing to the standard, which was, in all reality, no gold standard. It's just a bunch of crap. Like public school, I'm so glad that we're not going down that route. But yeah, schooling, I totally underestimated it and had no idea that it would be such a big deal, looking at it now. And so, yeah, something to definitely consider because, I think about this whole setup with AI and, kids today. I'm afraid that this generation will no longer be able to think due to, the lack of critical thinking caused to the dependence on AI. We really want to focus on teaching our son how to think critically and not what to think. Because critical thinking and common sense will be a very valuable resource. I mean, we're already seeing that many people lack these simple but yet important skills. And well, I guess it could look a little like this.
If you're homeless, just buy a house.
If you're blind, just see. If you have anxiety, just calm down. If you have a heart attack, just defend it. If the operation has 50% of such, just do it twice.
Do it twice. Oh my gosh. All right. So the second one here, how we're going to raise our son here in early retirement. The next big thing is around money. So we talked about schooling. The next one is around money because I don't want money to dominate his life, right? We're investing money for him so that he can have flexibility and options. If he wants to go to college, he wants to start a business, all those kind of things. So the very first thing when it comes to money is, we want to raise our son with an understanding and respect for money. That, money should be respected. If you go into debt to buy things that you don't really need, that's probably not a good thing, right? So teaching him things like delayed gratification and that he should avoid consumer debt the best that he can, and that he understands the system, that the government is printing money, understanding inflation, that your purchasing power is going down over time, that you have to invest your money and you have to think like the rich and not act like the poor. And that really is what it comes down to, is understanding assets versus liabilities, those kind of things that will set you up for success when it comes to understanding money and understanding, the simple concept of, the power of compound interest and having your money work harder for you than you had to work for it. So these are all really important things that we're going to raise our son to understand. My biggest goal here when it comes to the topic of money is creating generational wealth, for him, helping him understand the concept of money, respecting it, and that his life is not ruled around money. That not every single decision has to be based upon, can I afford it? Can I not afford it? Should I buy it because I have enough money in my account or I don't have enough money in my account? I want him to be able to make choices in life, not because of money. That's a really important thing for me, and that's why I wanted to talk about it in this video. Another thing that I want to talk about here is career preparation. Now, every parent, when you think about, your kids, it's front and center when they're 16, 17, 18 years old, they're about to leave the nest. How do you help them for their future career? Now, I'm going to help him obviously much earlier in life to, learn about what does he like? What does he want to do in life? And not just make every decision in life based off of career aspiration, what he wants to do to make money. And so to that end, I really don't want college to be front and center. I don't want it the first and, the only choice for him after, high school or whatever is that he's going to go to college. In all honesty, I actually would prefer that he doesn't go to college. I actually don't want him to pursue a 4-year degree unless he wants to be a CPA, a doctor, a lawyer, something where he needs accreditation, something like that. Yeah, that makes absolute sense. But just for more of a generic course degree, I'm going to encourage him to pursue other things. And like with everyone in life, it's okay to not have the answers to everything. And especially when it comes time, when he's 17, 18 years old, I'm going to make sure that he understands that he won't have all the answers to life. And that's okay. It's supposed to be that way. You're not supposed to have everything figured out at 18 years old. It's going to be okay. And another thing is, I want to ingrain into him that I don't want him to just sit around waiting for something to happen. If he wants something to happen, he has to make it happen. He has to put himself in the position to be lucky by working hard. That's something that I noticed in my own career. I was never the smartest person in the room. But what I was one of the most determined and hardworking in the room. Now, this is obviously going to vary by case in different, areas and fields that you can maybe run into. But I think in most cases, you don't have to be the smartest person in the room to get ahead. I think most of the times it just takes just a little bit more effort, a little extra effort here or there, not giving 50%, that whole cheesy give 110%, right? That extra 10% that maybe somebody else isn't willing to give. And if you're able to do that, you're able to stand out, it really goes a long way. Sometimes just giving a little bit more or doing just a little bit more to put yourself ahead in life is all it takes. So when it comes to this, when it comes to career preparation for his future, I personally really want to encourage him to pursue a life as an entrepreneur or to pursue, experiences to learn different things that he may enjoy instead of just going the bland, go to college, get your degree, sit behind a computer, and that's the end of it. I want him to think in a different way and not make decisions just based off of money. The last thing that I want to talk about in this video when it relates to my son and raising him, I want to talk about values. And when it comes to this, I kind of think about focusing on timeless truths. Now, I kind of feel like I'm an old soul trapped in a new world and that the world is changing much faster than I'd like it to. Growing up as a kid, I always thought that life would go by fast. Then I got into my teens and my 20s and I thought, whoa, time goes by so fast. And now I don't know what it is, if it's social media, if it was the pandemic, everything just happens so quickly. You have market recessions in a day, in a week, in a month, that would normally take 2 or 3 years. Everything just happens so quickly. The world is changing so fast. I just kind of want to slow things down. I want to enjoy the now. I don't want to always focus on tomorrow and what's happening next. The world is so polarized. The country here in the United States is so divided. Growing up as a kid, I didn't always feel that way. And it just feels that hatred and just negativity just shines, like it gets all the attention. And I just want to focus on things that are good. I want to focus on, things that make me happy, things that smile, timeless truths, values, hard work. So I'm going to teach my son to understand that life is not fair and that you create your own destiny and that nothing is owed to you. You're not a victim of your circumstances and you have all the potential in the world to accomplish great things and that you're entitled to nothing. If you want something, you have to earn it. And we're going to teach our son that he has the potential to do anything he wants in life and that life is full of opportunity, but he has to take action if he wants something to change in his life. He can't just sit back and expect good things to happen to him. Life is about finding peace and happiness. What have you gained in life if you obtain all the riches in the world but lose your soul? I want my son to make decisions based off of passion and excitement and enjoyment, not based off of money and greed. I love this timeless quote from Charlie Munger. The secret to a long and happy life is so simple. You don't have a lot of envy. You don't have a lot of resentment. You don't overspend your income. You stay cheerful in spite of your troubles. You deal with reliable people and you do what you're supposed to do. And all of these simple rules work so well to make your life better. And they're so trite. Life is all about finding your peace. And these are the ways that we're going to help our son find his peace and happiness in life. But even this, Even if he were to gain the world and have all the opportunity in life, it's up to him to make these choices. You can be given anything in the world, and it can all be taken away from you from bad choices. Sometimes the simple truths in life are the best way to find your peace. Thanks for watching.
Please subscribe.
Subscribe.
Please subscribe.
You know what? I think we're gonna be friends. Can everyone say hi to my friend? That's crazy. I just wanted to say thanks. I'm glad you came along, partner.